All right, so one of the series you need to know for the AP exam is a geometric series. So in general, a geometric series is some number a times some number r to the n. So this a and this r are just going to be real numbers, and your variable is n. So one of the first things is deciding, like, does it converge or diverge? So for it to diverge, you're looking at r. So all of your answers on, like, converge or diverge, you're basing it on this number right here. If the absolute value of r is greater than or equal to 1, your geometric series is going to diverge. For the opposite of that, for it to converge, that would mean your absolute value of r has to just be less than 1. So you're just looking at whatever is in the parentheses there. If the absolute value of it is less than 1, converge. If it's greater than or equal to 1, diverge. If it converges, there is a sum formula, and the sum is a sub I over 1 minus r. Now, with your a sub I, you've got to be careful, because a sub I is all going to be based on, like, whatever number is down here. Whatever number is down there, you would take and plug in for n, and then that is going to give you your value for a sub I. So we will look at that in just a minute. So the different types of questions you might see. Number 1 and number 2 are like your easiest situations. It's just going to say, does the series converge or diverge? So when we're looking at number 1, we just want to look at this value for r right here. So we do the absolute value of -4/3. That is greater than 1. So since it's greater than 1, that means it's going to diverge. So then for number 2, same concept. You look at what's in the parentheses right there. The absolute value of 7/9 is less than 1, so that means it's going to converge. So that's like your easiest scenario with it, is just decide, does it converge or diverge? You could also have something like number 3 over here. It gives you this function f of x and tells you to find f of 2. So we'll start just by plugging in 2. So we have the series from n equals 1 to infinity of 2 over 5 to the n. So when we look at this now, this is a geometric series. R is 2/5. The absolute value of that is less than 1, so it will converge. Since it converges, that means we can use this formula to find the sum of it, which is what it's wanting you to do here. It's wanting you to recognize it's a geometric series, it converges, therefore you can find the sum. So a sub I, we look at this number down here. That number is 1, so we'll plug it in. So we get 2/5 to the 1 over 1 minus r is 2/5. So you end up with 2/5 over 3/5. When you have a fraction over a fraction, you leave the top one, multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom. 5 over 5 simplifies to 1, so our answer comes out to 2/3. If r had been greater than 1, your answer for finding f of 2 would be like infinity or does not exist or something like that. But since it's less than 1, that means it converges. You can use that formula to find what the answer is. Something I think you have a potential to see this year, just because of the format of the AP exam, is one like number 4. So they give you this series, and then we're trying to find a range of values for p to make the series converge. So when we look at this, we have a number times a number to the n. So that means it is a geometric series. So geometric is going to converge when the absolute value of r is less than 1. Absolute values can be kind of confusing. What that really means for r is it has to fall somewhere between -1 and 1. Because if r is like -2/3, the absolute value of -2/3 is 2/3. It falls within that range. So for the problem we're looking at here, r is p over 3. So we need p over 3 to fall in between -1 and 1. So if we wanted to get p by itself, that means we would take everything and multiply it by 3. So if we multiply everything by 3, you end up with this range of values for p. And so if we kind of think through some numbers you could plug in for that, that would mean like -2. If you plug in -2, yep, -2 over 3, that falls in between -1 and 1. If you plugged in 1/3, that means it would converge. If you try to do anything outside that range, you would get something greater than or equal to 1, so it would make it diverge. So this should help you with anything you need geometric series wise. Let me know if you got any questions.